What is going on, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today, talking about the LCS 2020 Summer Split Week 7 thoughts and opinions. So, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. For Week 7 of the LCS 2020 Summer Split, these games were absolutely just atrocious. You know, I don't usually like to rag on the LCS because it just feels like everybody does, but these games were just bad. It's not even just the comps were bad. It was just like a bunch of, mistakes that academy players wouldn't do. Like, I just don't know what's going on with these players. But other than that, the marquee matchup of the week was Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, and it was super hard to find some standout games from week 7 of the LCS 2020 Summer Split. It's definitely getting harder to, figure out what is the best games outside of the marquee matchup of the week. Usually the match of the week includes like Cloud9 and X team that is maybe able to upset them. But, overall, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about this game. So, I do not think Cloud9 played bad in this game. I do think that not having an ADC did hurt them from winning. Now, if you're going to pick Sona and Lux as your bot lane, you want to save that for like third rotation. That way, TL pretty much revealed their bot lane early on because they chose Ezreal. So you're getting an Ezreal in the lane. So if you want to obviously, force out certain things in the draft that your opponent might pick, you want to save your Sona and Lux for later on. Now, I don't know what was discussed, obviously, by the Cloud9 players about why they chose Sona and Lux first, but I do want to say that I don't think this composition is really bad. I do think it works out if they don't show their bot lane super early. Now, do I think that having an ADC would have made things a lot more easier? Yes, and they probably would have been able to win a lot more easier and earlier if they had an actual ADC. Whereas if they had chose someone like Jhin could work. You also have, what are other teams playing? They're playing Ashe. There are also, Aphelios could still be in there if they didn't ban it, obviously. So there's other picks they could have chosen besides Sona, but Sona was also seeing a lot of play anyway. So if they're going with it because it was meta, that also makes perfect sense. Now, the Hecarim is an ideal Blabber champion. I personally think that because ultimately he likes to run in, get a bunch of kills, and lead his team. What is the better champ to do that than with Hecarim? I think Niski on the set mid. I mean, set is just a strong champion you can flex. Seeing it mid is not that surprising. He has a lot of dueling potential. He can probably be very problematic to a lot of mages because mages like to kind of just be very, very stationary, stun, layer people down with CC. Set is like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna beat your ass. And that's also a good thing too. Licorice on Shen was pretty interesting to see. Now, I don't think he played it bad, but maybe if he was on a more aggressive top lane pick, it probably would have worked out. Now, you had Team Liquid drafting Mordekaiser, Trundle, Syndra, Ezreal, and Blitzcrank. Core JJ has been the MVP for me of the 2020 LCS Summer Split, given how amazing he's exactly played. And when you're pairing it up with other powerful pieces like Ezreal and Trundle, you can definitely effectively use the Blitzcrank hook. And they definitely were on Cloud9's favor not respecting the Blitzcrank. It was very, very known throughout the game. You could literally see that they were not respecting the Blitz hooks because Core JJ was landing hooks after hooks. And against a squishy target like Sona and Lux, it's an insta-kill, more or less so. Layering of the CC with Syndra. Now, I do think TL played pretty bad this game, and it wasn't tactical or Core JJ, it was more or less so Impact and Broxa not being a very good topside, and early on in the game, Cloud9 wasn't even losing. Not only did they dive them consistently, they were pulling off every single dive. There were a few team fights that did go TL's way. Like you can see right here, this bot lane gank did go towards their way. Broxa actually making an early game impact. I mean, he's got to do it eventually, but you can clearly see how C9 is the better team here, and I don't think people are going to understand that. They're just going to say, oh, you're salty because your team lost. No, I'm saying this as from what I'm seeing in the game. Even the TL players themselves know they did not play a very good game. They actually think they should have lost this game, but I do think that was Cloud9's fault. They actually lost this game because they didn't keep the pressure up. If you are in an advantageous position and you are not keeping the pressure up, that is on your fault because you are not accelerating the game. Now, they have been doing this for Cloud9. They have been getting into positions where they can win the game, where they're doing the Cloud9 style. Aggressive early, mid-jungle, dominating the game, Licorice stable, bot lanes going even, if not doing better than their opposition. But they seem to have this halt, and I don't know where that's coming from. Hopefully, maybe they're trying to see if these NA teams can fight them back in the mid-game. We know that a lot of teams have been very open about their mid-game being pretty bad. But overall, I don't think this is the game TL should be proud of. Let's be honest here. Is TL really proud of actually winning this game? Probably not. It was a lot of mis-execution on C9's part. Was the draft at fault? Probably. But you also have it there where, you know, the blitz hooks are insta-death. Now, I don't think, you know, you want to give too much credit towards just blitzcrank and trying to ban it out in future games. But if this is going to be a champion that Core JJ is going to be very, very proficient on, you might want to think about banning it. People who haven't watched League of Legends for a very long time, remember, who was the champion Core JJ was really, really prominent on was Tahm Kench, right? Every time he got Tahm Kench was pretty much you're sealing this guy's victory right there. And if Blitz is going to be that champion, that's going to be pretty scary now that he can force out bans by just how well he's playing. And I think that without Core JJ, this team would look a lot worse because Broxa is getting like some things done, but he's not really been looking that well. He's pretty much going into games getting zero jungle pressure. I mean, hey, TLB Cloud9, it wasn't the cleanest game. Definitely not a game you're proud of, ultimately, you know. And I don't think C9, you know, they should be worried about, you know, getting complacent. That's pretty much it. But I don't think they're getting complacent, though. I think that, you know, when you're trying out different stuff, it's better to do that right now in the regular split rather than doing that randomly in playoffs. Like, you see missed team fights right there. I don't know, like, that has to have been miscommunication. They were basically almost about to kill two people right there, but miscommunication on the Hecarim ult and the Sona ult definitely did not come through. And then you had CLG versus TSM, the old rivalry of the LCS. This is not the best rivalry in the LCS. I think this is the one rivalry that is only based off in nostalgia from people who used to watch back in the day. I think that Cloud9 and TSM is the better rivalry of the LCS. And also, you know, Lakers versus Celtics, if you guys are basketball fans. I don't even know what the fuck this game was. I'm being honest here, and it's not even TSM's fault. This game, TSM played pretty decent, but Spica's trash. But there was this part where they were having a team fight, and they could have, you know, locked TSM down, but what ended up happening was they fought near a blast cone, so they messed up the Galio Gnar combination by not taking care of the blast cone. Ruin on Gnar wasn't, like, he wasn't feeding, because he's been genuinely a pretty big feeder for them on CLG, which I've been very highly critical of. Smoothie and Stixxay have been a rather underwhelming bot lane. They haven't been the worst, but they haven't been the best either. I think they're just kind of meh. And then you have Pobelter, who's literally trying to get his team toward the finish line, and that's something that, you know, is gonna be a good quality. If he ever wants to go to another team, they're gonna see that, oh my god, on CLG he was really, really trying, but hopefully that's the case, right? And that's pretty much it. I mean, TSM really didn't have to do much in this game with CLG messing up all their team fights. Look at this right here. There's a blast cone right there with the Gnar forced back into the wall. But, you know, they didn't take care of the blast cone before the team fight started, so they messed up the Galio ultimate. Just little shit right here that these people know. Like, come on, this is such textbook shit right here. If you're having a team fight right here, and then there's a blast cone right here, if Rune's gonna knock them into a wall, well, wouldn't one of them take care of the blast cone first before you even do any of that? Or you just don't engage at all, because if you're not gonna maximize on your team fight, then there's no point in doing it. Them hitting this blast cone pretty much just nullified everything that Galio was supposed to do. And if they had killed all three of them in that spot, which would have happened if they had taken care of that blast cone, this would have been a better team fight for them overall. And they could have taken that Baron if they had played that more effectively. And that's why CLG is an underwhelming team at the current moment in time. TSM in this game, they were playing okay outside of Spica. I mean, Broken Blade is not playing that well right now either, but at least he's, you know, being a decent tank for his team. Doublelift and Treats have been rather okay. I think that adding Treats to his aggression in and shot calling, as Doublelift said, was definitely needed. I don't know if we'll see Biofrost back in the roster, and it's kind of funny how they don't switch out Spica, but they definitely switch out Biofrost. I mean, you know, I guess, you know. Alright, so this is just a random game I pulled up because all of them were fucking bad this week. You had Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves have not looked that good since they took down Cloud9. Like I said before, they had their 5 minutes of fame. Usually when a team plays that good on one day, you don't see that again. I told people this is not how Contracts normally plays. He's normally just an average jungler. From what we already can tell, Closer has been literally closing the gap of Golden Guardians and the rest of the league. I think that, you know, if they didn't have support like Huhi, they would be further up the standings. I think their record is not indicative about how they're playing. It's just more like, I think there's very decent communication issues between what Closer wants to do and what some of the other players want to do. Haunter was stuck on Karma duty in this game, and then I was really looking forward to, you know, Ryoma and Contracts being a pretty good bot lane, somewhat where Contracts can basically, I guess, you know, take Ryoma with him at certain places during the game, but, you know, you just never really ever got that. Yeah, this game doesn't leave much to be desired, honestly. It actually ended pretty fast, all things considered. Golden Guardians was just scaling up. I mean, leaving someone on Aphelios all this much time as the game passes. Demonte was just landing bubble. Yeah, Closer just running them down. This is an easy composition. This is basically the same composition that 100 Thieves ran against C9. Use the Olaf, get a Karma, speed him up, and have him run people down. And then later on, Golden Guardians gets the Baron, and they win. So that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm pretty sure we have TSM versus C9 this week again. I can't wait to see that, because that is the best rivalry of the LCS. It just feels like just yesterday. We got it just a few weeks ago, having this show match. So, see you guys later. Bye. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.